Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this quick video I'm going to show you how I am going to dress up my big ugly bowl, and I'll tell you about that too, for Christmas time and then for winter. So, as you are hopping on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, feel free to sprinkle all that normal stuff. This should be really good, and maybe you'll get an idea or two that you can use at your house. All right, so let me take my stuff out of my bowl. I'm going to see if I can use some of these ornaments also that I purchased at Walmart earlier this Christmas season. Okay, this is my big ugly bowl. I made this probably 4.5 years ago. I'm going to look for the video, but let me tell you basically what it is. Okay, it was 2 pieces that I purchased at Goodwill. A big wooden bowl that was dark brown, this part, and then a big wooden candlestick, or maybe it was metal. Yeah, it might have been metal that I purchased at Goodwill. I attached the 2 pieces. I painted the underneath of the bowl and the base using some chalk paint. But at this point, if I was going to do this again, I would just use this awesome stuff, Waverly, and I would use the color Plaster. I think it's very similar to what I have going on here. And then I did paint the inside of the bowl, but I took some pieces of dictionary pages with pretty illustrations, and I cut them up into small pieces, and I decoupaged them into the center of the bowl. And then I did, once it was all dry, I did a couple of coats, clear coats of Mod Podge. And this is the stuff I like, so I'm pretty sure this is what I used. Matte Mod Podge. And the whole thing cost me less than $10. And it has been sitting on my kitchen table pretty solidly ever since I made it. What I tend to do is I tend to change out the fluff that's in the center. Okay, so I'm going to do an arrangement that's going to be in white. I think it'll be fine, even though this is creamy tones, for winter and Christmas. And we're going to start with some paper shreds. These are great because they allow your doodads to lay comfortably in your container. And this, the ideas I'm going to show you could be used for a dough bowl. You could use them for a basket, any kind of container that you might want. If you don't like this kind of a base, you could also use some of this wooden, these wood shreds. Or I've used teeny tiny little seashells. I mean, there's lots of things that you can do to just sort of start your base layer. Okay, so next up are my doodads. And I'm going to take my 2 little branches out. These are probably Walmart or Hobby Lobby picks, or Michael's or Joann's. I don't remember. I've had them hanging around for a long time, and we'll use those last. Okay, so I'm going to add some pine cones, and I want to tell you what I did with these. These are some pine cones that we picked up at Lake Tahoe. I did 2 years ago, I think, when we were out in the wintertime with our youngest son. My husband and my youngest son bought knickknacks as their souvenir. I picked up pine cones and mailed them to myself. And then, if you're a crafter, I am sure you've seen this idea 100 times, but basically all I did was I took some of this white Waverly paint, a foam brush, dipped it in there and dabbed it on, and while it was still wet, I use this iridescent whitish glitter. I sprinkled it over it, and so it has a little teeny opalescent look. So let's find the big, I have 3 big pine cones out, and they are sharp. So if you're painting pine cones with little ones, you might want to check your pine cones out first to make sure they're not too sharp, or get some rubber gloves or something for the little people. I cannot remember where I had these last year. This one shows the glitter a little better. So I have 3 big items, and I'm going to lay them different positions. So I have these 2 laying down and this one standing up. Okay, and then I have a bunch of little ones. And also I painted and glittered some little rattan balls. Let's just throw them in. I probably will fiddle with this a little after, because you know you never do your best arranging when you're live. But anyways, I think I have 6. Yes, I have 6 of these smaller pine cones that I painted and glittered. And then I have 3 of these little rattan balls. And I don't know, maybe these won't work. And now that I'm looking at it, and I'm actually thinking I don't want to add these to it. But in case you're curious, these were these beautiful ornaments that I got for $4.48 a piece this year at Walmart. They're solid wood. I decorated a couple of these. One of them I painted, and the other one I just decorated with some strips of canvas duck cloth and lace and a vintage button. And they're great Christmas decor. My Texas house. So if you like the look of these, check out the Christmas section at your local Walmart. Okay, so I think I'm going to skip that. And then the only other thing I did was I just popped in these couple little sprigs. And that's it. I mean, that's almost too easy for me to show you. I feel embarrassed. But, so the main takeaways, I guess, are that I like to use something for the base, whether it's in a basket, a dough bowl, or whatever, a big silver container, whatever it is, I like to use some kind of a base. And for this one, I'm just using this white shredded up paper, but I could use this. I can't remember what this stuff is called. There's a lot of things that you can use as your base. And right now my base is all stuck in the pine cones from last year, so I will fiddle with that. Then I put three big items in here. My 3 big pine cones that I painted. I wonder if I can find the glitter. Hang on 2 seconds, let me see if I can, because I know somebody will ask. Yes, it's right here. All right. This is the glitter. It's Sulin brand from Walmart, and it's called Crystal Diamonds. It looks just white, unless you're looking at it in person and you can see that it has a little bit of an opalescent effect. So I painted with a sponge brush, just dab in my paint, and painted the tips of the pine cones. I didn't get every single tip. And then while that paint was still wet, I sprinkled on some of this stuff from Walmart. And that was it. Then I did the same thing to my smaller pine cones. And I have 6 of those to go with my 3. So that's 9, which you do want to use odd numbers if possible. And then just for fun, I had some of these little rattan balls that I did exactly the same thing with them. And I have 2 little pigs. If I had had one more, I would use it, but I only have 2. And this is going to look beautiful on my kitchen table going through Christmas and into January. And that is one thing that I do really like to do, is decorate with natural elements and with a kind of snowy theme, because it will take you through Christmas and into January and possibly even into the beginning of February, no matter where you live. So we live in the South, we live in Georgia. We don't get a lot of snow here, but I still like to do some decorating with a snowy theme, because the season for it is so much longer than just the season for Christmas. All right, well, that's what I wanted to show you. My big ugly bowl. I am going to fiddle with it some more. I'll take pictures. I am probably going to put a table runner underneath it, and I'm going to just use one of these awesome table runners from magnoliadiy.com, and we'll come back later and we will do a design on that will go in my decor. And yeah, so I will get pictures, and if you do something like this, I'd love to see it as well. When you're out and about this month and into Christmas, be looking around your feet for pine cones. Whether you're at the park, you're walking your dog through the neighborhood and you spot some pine cones in your neighbor's yard, think about picking up some to paint and glitter. Okay, let me tell you one more thing. Mary Ellis Ryan says that she has a glass bowl with a gold stand, and this would look beautiful done with the pine cones. Yes, it absolutely would. Okay, so if you're going to pick up pine cones, you really don't want to have an infestation of little critters that live inside the pine cones. So what I usually do is I will get a big cookie sheet. I'll turn my oven on the lowest setting, whatever that is for you. If your oven goes down to 160, great. If it's 200, great. I'll put a big piece of foil on to protect my cookie sheet in case there's sap, because that is hard to clean off. And then I'll lay my pine cones on that sheet, and I will cook it in the oven, for an hour, 2 hours. And if there were any critters in your pine cones, they will crawl out and be dead. And your pine cones will also open up a little bit more, and then you can do whatever effect you would like to do with them. These are completely beautiful, unpainted. I just wanted to do this particular day, I wanted like a snowy effect, so I used this Waverly White. This one's called Snow White. There's also one that's just white, I believe. And then while my paint was still wet, I sprinkled some of this Sue Lynn glitter from Walmart in Crystal Diamond. Look at it. Over the top, shook that off, let it dry, and then here is my arrangement. Lupe Pulu says that she it's Gretchen says that she loves the big pine cones, but she doesn't have them there. Yeah, we don't really have them here either. We have more of this size, these littler ones. And some that are a little bit bigger. But I did see at an antique store recently some pine cones that were for sale, and they were the big ones. You can probably also order some big pine cones on the internet, on Etsy or something like that. Okay, well, you guys have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining me for this super simple fluffing of my big ugly bowl. I thought I'm going to do it today, so I might as well do it as a live. When everything's all done, I will put it back in the Ziploc bags, and it's all ready to go for next year. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you.